welcome back to 2010 Public Awareness Weekend. I'm here today with these fine ladies from the Early Learning Institute. I have Kristin Brown, who's the Director in Development and Marketing, Kim Morrow, she's a developmental therapist, and Laura Withrow, who's a preschool teacher for the TELI Ohio Valley Preschool. Is that correct? All right. So Kristin, why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about what your organization does?
Sure. We were founded in 1958 as St. Peter's Child Development Centers, and we were actually started by a group of parents who didn't want to put their children with Down syndrome, they didn't want to institutionalize them. So they came together, and what started as a classroom of 8 children has grown to serving nearly 1,600 annually. We were started in a church, and like I said, we've grown over the years, and in 1994 we changed our name to the Early Learning Institute to kind of reflect the changes in services.
Okay. Are you throughout Allegheny County, or?
Yes, we service all of Allegheny County, all children and families who qualify in Allegheny County, yes.
Okay. And what are the different ages and services that you offer?
Sure. Our mission is to help children age birth to 5 reach their fullest potential through early intervention and early childhood education programs. So that's really the bulk of what we do, and it's through a number of different services. For children age birth to 3, we offer early intervention services. And, well, 3 to 5 is our preschool, but we just started a new 2-year-old preschool, so preschool is technically 2 to 5. We also have one center in Wilkins Township that has a daycare, and we also have socialization groups that we offer as well.
Okay. So let's talk to Kim now about, you're a part of the infant and toddler program.
Yes.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Okay. Our infant and toddler program services children between the ages of birth to 3 years of age. And we service those children generally within a home or a community-based setting. And when I say home, I mean the home might be mom and dad's home, it might be grandma's home, the aunt's home, it could be the neighbor that's taking care of the child for the day. And when I say community, it might be a daycare setting. Whatever is the most typical environment for that child between that age group.
Okay.
And we service, like we said, all over Allegheny County. When they're referred to early intervention and birth to 3 services, it becomes a team kind of collaborative partnership between the family being the most important component, the therapists, and service coordination. And what we do is we sit down and we design a program called Individualized Family Service Plan that addresses the specific needs of that individual child.
Okay.
Some of the services that might be identified when you go through that individualized service plan, we have a whole menu of services that are available. We have physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech therapists, we have developmental therapists like myself, we have vision and hearing services, we have nutritional consultation, feeding therapy, and what separates us from some of the other early intervention providers within the Allegheny County area is we have fantastic social workers that are on board, and we have 2 full-time social workers. And when a child is identified to have special needs, that also provides unique challenges to the families that we service, and that's where the social workers come in. They can help by further identifying individualized family needs, and help them see family resources or community resources that might better serve them and take some of the burden off the families.
Okay. Now, if you had a child, birth through 3, that you felt would benefit from this program, how exactly would you try and access the services that your organization offers?
Great question. You don't come in through the Early Learning Institute, and that's where the confusion sometimes exists. Your entry point is an agency called the Alliance for Infants, and they're considered like a neutral agency. And you would contact them. Their phone number is 412-885-6000, and you would just basically call and say, you know, there's some concerns I have about my child's development. And they'll listen, and then they'll decide whether or not they need to come out and do a screening and just kind of take a look and see if that child might benefit from early intervention services, or if there's already a pre-existing diagnosis like cerebral palsy, spina bifida, Down syndrome, autism, then they'll send out a team of therapists and specialists that'll do a comprehensive evaluation and work with the family to identify the individualized needs. And then after they've developed those that individualized family service plan, they'll give the parents a list of providers that are available within the Allegheny service provider area. And what we hope is that you will contact the Early Learning Institute, because we've been around for 50 years or more, and we've got a wonderfully experienced staff, many of which have been on staff at TELI alone for 25 years, and several of which were parents that started the program, went back and believed so strongly in early intervention, went back and got their education, furthered, and they are now therapists in our sites.
That's great. So I know you also have groups called the Social Butterflies and the Baby Butterflies.
We do.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about those two?
They are the cutest little groups. We started these about year and a half ago. And what had come from many of the parents is that they felt isolated. And there's, sometimes you're living in a neighborhood where there are a lot of kids that you can get together with and kids can socialize and play, and sometimes there's not. And that's really a need, both for the parents to get together and for the children to get together. And one of the key pieces of development between the ages of 18 months and 3 years of age is socialization. Learning to get along, not necessarily share, but learning to get along, learning to take turns, learning to be able to approach another child, maybe communicate that you want them to kind of play with you. So the focus is, it's run by certified teachers and very well-trained staff, and it's an hour and a quarter long. It runs for 6-week increments, and it's in several of our sites. 2 of our main sites right now are Ohio Valley and our South Hills site, which is in Castle Shannon.
Okay.
But basically, the kids come with their moms or dads or whomever might bring them, and they learn more about play, socialization, movement, and basically just have a lot of fun. And then the parents get a chance to get together and not feel so isolated and network and share information like, gee, did you, this is a great pediatrician to go to, or have you tried this grocery store? They, if your child has allergies, go here. So it's a great way for them to be able to network. And you can find out all that information and when the next 6-week sessions, because they're about halfway through right now, when the next 6-week session starts on our website, which is telipa.org. But the spin-off from Social Butterflies became Baby Butterflies, because a lot of the parents said, but I have a younger child that really needs this socialization too. So starting this past September at our South Hill site, we started Baby Butterflies, which are for 9 to 17-month-old teeny tiny little ones. Mm-hmm. And they're learning how to slowly separate from their moms and just play nearby other little friends and move around and get to know each other. So that's really been starting to bloom, and we're looking at the possibility, since it was piloted in South Hills, of expanding it to some of our other sites.
That's great. Why don't we move on and talk a little bit about preschool?
Okay.
So you're from a preschool that's right nearby in Kennedy Township.
Yes, it is located in Kennedy. And we have children that are 3, 4, and 5 years old. And it's unique because they're all in the same classroom. So they all have a chance to learn from each other. The young 3s can learn off the older 4s. And they have the peer models. We also have inclusive classrooms, which allows typically developing children to be included with children with special needs, and that helps the children with special needs learn play, socialization skills, because they have the typical child model, so that is very unique to our center.
Okay. And you have some half-day programs and some whole-day programs.
Yes, we have a half-day AM and PM program for children, and as of last year, we started a full-day program for children, so parents can choose to have their children come all day, or they can choose to come in the morning half-day or in the afternoon half-day.
Now, is that for all kids that can come full-day, or are there only certain ages that can come for full-day?
3, 4s, or 5, any child can come all day.
Okay, and how do you